He slapped an old man in a diner. 11 minutes later, the army rolled in. Hi guys, before you watch, hit the like button if you believe no one should ever disrespect a war veteran. A biker slapped a 76-year-old man in front of everyone, but he had no idea who he just hit. And 11 minutes later, the army came knocking. A loud slap cracked through the air, freezing the entire diner in silence. People stopped mid-bite. A spoon fell to the floor. All eyes turned to the corner booth where a massive man in a black leather jacket stood over an elderly man with silver hair and a worn military cap. The old man didn't react right away. His cheek was red from the hit, but he stayed still. His coffee cup trembled slightly in his wrinkled hands. Then slowly he looked up, and his eyes told a story, not of pain, but of something deeper, calm, controlled, dangerous. His name was Frank Carter, 76 years old, a Vietnam veteran. He had survived 3 tours, buried friends, and carried a piece of war in his leg for half a century. He didn't talk much about it. He just showed up every morning at the same booth in the same small-town diner to sip black coffee and enjoy the silence. But today wasn't silent anymore. The biker had walked in just minutes earlier, loud and full of attitude. He shoved the young waitress aside like she was nothing. That's when Frank had looked up and said, "Son, show some respect." That was it, one calm sentence. The biker didn't like being told anything, so he hit him hard. The diner went silent. No one dared move. The biker leaned in, grinning. "That's what happens when you disrespect the Reapers," he sneered. Frank didn't answer. Instead, he slowly reached for the rotary phone on the wall beside him. He dialed a number from memory. The biker laughed. "What are you going to do, call the nursing home?" Frank simply said 2 words into the phone. "It's time." Then he hung up. The biker grabbed Frank's collar and growled, "Got anything else to say, old man?" Frank didn't flinch. He just folded his hands and waited. 11 minutes later, the ground outside began to shake. First came a deep rumble, then the roar of engines. A military Humvee pulled into the parking lot, then another, then a third. Soldiers poured out, surrounding the diner. The biker's face turned pale. The door flew open. In walked Captain Daniel Carter, Frank's son, tall, serious, and surrounded by 6 armed soldiers. The room fell dead silent. Daniel's eyes locked onto the biker. His voice was calm but ice cold. "You laid a hand on a decorated veteran. Now you deal with me." The biker panicked and pulled a knife, but he didn't stand a chance. A soldier moved in fast, disarmed him, and slammed him to the floor. Frank stood up and looked at his son. "He doesn't get to walk away, Danny." Daniel nodded. "He won't." Outside, the biker was thrown into the back of a military police truck, still yelling, still making threats, until Daniel leaned in and said, "You're lucky we treat prisoners better than you treat heroes." The truck door slammed shut. It drove away into the distance. Inside the diner, the tension slowly melted. People whispered. The waitress wiped a tear. Frank picked up his cold coffee and took a sip. Daniel sat across from him and asked softly, "You okay, Pop?" Frank looked out the window and smiled. "I've been through worse," he said. Then, for the first time in years, he let his son help him up. They walked outside together into the sunlight, and for the first time in a long while, Frank Carter didn't feel old. He felt strong. He felt respected. He felt like a soldier again. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video and share it with someone who respects our real heroes. Drop a comment below and let us know, what would you have done if you were in that diner? And remember, sometimes the quietest people carry the loudest stories.